inscriptional evidence. This is brought to you by Ancient Roots, not an organization. It's just a group of heritage, history, archaeology enthusiasts who have all come together to present some of the fascinating historical facts along with inscriptional and other documentary evidences to the public at large. Today's speaker, Dr. M.L. Raja, is an ophthalmologist. After completing his MBBS from Coimbatore Medical College, he did his post-graduation in ophthalmology from the Stanley Medical College, Chennai. He is now working as a faculty in a private medical college in Trichy. But he's a very keen, astute, passionate enthusiast in history and chronology of India, and has done extensive research in these areas and has presented papers in international and national conferences. And also in academic journals, his articles have been published. And he has also authored 10 books, out of which 5 are in the field of historical chronology, Aryabhata's date on analytical study, historicity and period of King Vikramaditya, of Ujjain, Rajendra Chola, and many others. Now, I hand over the space to Dr. Raja.
Thank you, sir. Am I audible?
You're audible.
Okay, sir. Namaskar. Good evening. Vanakkam to all the participants. I am Dr. M.L. Raja, an eye surgeon and Director Avinash, Academy on Vibrant National Arts and Scientific Heritage. I am from Tamil Nadu state. These are all my contact numbers. This is my mail ID and this is my website. I wholeheartedly thank the prestigious Ancient Roots organization for giving me this golden opportunity to present in detail about the inscriptional evidence of Kali Yuga and Kali Yuga epoch at 3101 BCE. It will be, the whole discussion will be in the following headings. First, what is meant by Kali Yuga? How Kali Yuga and its era beginning is important to us. In what from the beginning? Okay, sir. First, we want to discuss about what is Kali Yuga. The Purana and astronomical text describes time measurements in micro and macro time, and astronomical texts also describe micro and macroscopic units of the time. These Purana and astronomical texts describe that lifetime of Brahma is 432 crore years into 2. That is 432 crore years is the half a day, and into 2 1 day, into 360 1 year, and into 100 human years. That is 3 crore 11 lakhs and 4,000 crore human years. That is the lifetime of Brahma. This is the macroscopic unit that was followed in our nation, and the smallest microscopic unit of time is 3D. That is 1 by 1,12,500th of a second. 1 minute, sir. Some disturbance is there.
You can talk, doctor.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Some is it something is Visible in the screen, some red mark? No, okay. Then life of Brahma has 2 into 360 into 100 kalpa, and one kalpa has 432 crore human years, that is 14 manvantara and the Sandhi. One manvantara has 30 crore 84 lakhs 48,000 human years, and one manvantara in 10 has 71 Mahayuga and its Sandhi period. Sandhi period is equal to 17 lakhs 28,000 human years, that is the years of Krita or Satyuga. And one Mahayuga has 43 lakhs 20,000 human years. That includes one Krita Yuga, Treta, and Dwapara, and Kali Yuga. And Kali Yuga has 4 lakhs 32,000 human years. In this calculation, 360 human years is equal to 12 Pitru years into 1 Deva year. You can compare this, the relative theory of Albert Einstein, that is entirely different topic, but it is scientific. At present, we are living in the first day of 51st year of Brahma, that is in Sweda Varaha Kalpa, 7th Manvantara, Maivaswada Manvantara, 28th Mahayuga, and Kali Yuga, Pradama Bhaga, as per Sankalpa. So, what we mean by Kali Yuga in this lesson is this Kali Yuga, 28th Kali Yuga, 28th Mahayuga, of 7th Manvantara of Sweda Varaha Kalpa, in the first day of 51st year of Brahma. This is what meant by Kali Yuga in this lecture. How this Kali Yuga and its epoch is important to us. To understand this, we have to understand the importance of history. Without history, we cannot take a right, correct decision in the right time, in the right direction, in the right place. That's why in ancient period of our nation, our kings and princes were asked to read Purana and Itihasa. Through history only we can understand the achievements of our ancestors, how they have decided correctly and achieved, and what are all the mistakes in the ancient period, how to overcome that mistakes, and like that we can learn a lot of things from history. So history is the most important subject. That's why we want to learn history. This can be highlighted by 2-3 incidents that happened in our nation. In the year 1033 Common Era, Sadr Masood, who was an Iran prince and related to Muhammad of Ghazni, invaded our nation, and he crossed the Sindhu river and Ganges, and at Bahrain in Uttar Pradesh, Sukhel Dev and other 11 kings of our nation opposed him. There was a worst battle happened at Bahrain in the year 1033. Sadr Masood came with more than 1 lakh forces, but only 7 went allied to Iran. That was the complete and decisive victory of our kings. Unitedly, they opposed Sadr Masood and won a great, massive victory. But the most unfortunate thing is that it is not at all mentioned in our history books. You see, Muhammad of Ghazni came to India in around the year 1025 Common Era. And Muhammad of Ghori came to India in 1190s. There is a wide gap of 165 years. But nothing is mentioned, the events that are happened in these 165 years. They are all omitted. Why omitted? Because in those years, our kings unitedly fought and eliminated all the invaders, and invaders could not succeed even a slight victory. So wherever our kings, our nation has won, it is omitted. And further, we read that our kings, they fought themselves. There is no unity among themselves. But Sukhel Dev and 11 kings fought unitedly and get a massive victory. So we have to understand correct history. See, we have statue of Sukhel Dev still there in Lucknow, and the dome of Sadr Masood still there in Bahrain. These are all the historical evidence for this victory, but it is totally omitted in our textbooks. In the same way, we have to understand what are all the mistakes committed by our kings. The most important mistake what our kings done were wrongly believing the enemy. Our kings followed Dharma and they spoke always truth. There is nothing wrong in it, but what happened is they thought that the enemies, the invaders, the foreigners, they will also follow dharma and they will also speak truth. That is the worst mistake committed by our kings. For example, Prithviraj Chauhan, he got alive as a prisoner, Muhammad of Ghori, in the war in 1191 Common Era. But he allowed Muhammad of Ghori on the assurance that he will never enter into our nation. He believed Prithviraj Chauhan that he will keep his word. But what Muhammad of Ghori did, in the next year itself, he invaded India, and by deceiving method and by conspiracy, he won Prithviraj Chauhan. In the same way, Veera Ballala Hoysala, he encircled the fort of Kannur, and there is no other go for the ruler of fort of Kannur except to surrender at Veera Ballala Hoysala. But the ruler of Kannur did a conspiracy that he requested Veera Ballala Hoysala to allow him to send a messenger to Madurai Sultan so that he can get permission from Madurai Sultan for the surrender. Veera Ballala Hoysala believed his words. But what ruler of Kannur did was, he requested Madurai Sultan to send more forces so they could attack Veera Ballala Hoysala from behind, and in front the ruler of Kannur attack, so they can win. This is what actually happened. So they believed wrongly the enemies and enemies' words. So from this we can understand how to lead our present day life. So that is the importance of history, and Kali Yuga is an important event in our history. In that way it becomes important. It is not only that from Kali Yuga epoch we can derive many dates of the events that occurred after Kali Yuga. In that way also the Kali Yuga epoch is important. For example, Bhavishya Purana mentioned that the king Pramara of Agni Vamsa of Samaveta, he started his dynasty at Ujjain in the year 2710th year of Kali Yuga. And it mentioned further that the king Vikramaditya of this dynasty, who started Vikrama Samvat, was born in 3000th year of Kali Yuga. So both dates are mentioned in the Kali Yuga epoch. So if you know when the Kali Yuga began, we can derive exact date of Pramara dynasty starting date and also the birth year of Vikramaditya. In the same way, Jyotir Vidhaparanam, an astrology text of Kalidasa, the great poet Kalidasa, mentioned that Kalidasa started writing this text in the year 3068th year of Kali Yuga. He further mentions that King Vikramaditya, astronomer Varahimigra were contemporary to him, Kalidasa. Thus, all these three lived 3000 years after Kali Yuga. So, if we know Kali Yuga epoch, we can definitely arrive exact date of these three great personalities. Further, it mentions that 3044 years after King Yudhishthira, King Vikramaditya started his Vikrama Samvat, and 135 years after Vikrama Samvat, King Salivagana would start Salivagana Saga. So, thus, in the era 3044 of Kali Yuga, Vikrama Samvat began, and in 3179th year of Kali Yuga, Salivagana Saga began, because Jayabhyudaya Yudhishthira Saga began in Kali Yuga epoch. So, by knowing Kali Yuga epoch, we can exactly fix the Vikrama Samvat and Salivagana Saga. Viruddha Garga mentioned that Saptarishi, that is the great bear constellation, Nakshatra, were at Magha Nakshatra at Dwapara Kali Yuga junction. Varahimira in his Brigat Samhita mentioned that when Saptarishi were at Magha Nakshatra, Yudhishthira was the king. Thus, Yudhishthira lived at Dwapara Kali Yuga junction, because one revolution of this Saptarishi occurs in 2700 years. So, these are all contemporary in time. So, Yudhishthira lived in Dwapara Kali Yuga junction. Vadeswara Siddhanta, Sisyadi Viridhita Tandra of Lallacharya, Mahabhaskariyam and Laghu Bhaskariyam of Bhaskara, the ancient astronomical texts of our nation mentioned that in Kali Yuga 3179, Salivagana Saga began. Siddhanta Siromani of Bhaskaracharya mentioned that second Nirupayara, The era of Saka king, Nirupa means king. Saka Nirupa era came to an end in 3179 years of Kali Yuga. At the same year, the Salivagana year began. So, Salivagana Saka and Saka Nirupa era both are different. Varagi Mirani is Brigat Samkita mentioned that 2526 years after Yudhishthira Panjapandava, the era of Saka king, that Saka Nirupa era of Cyrus began. King Yudhishthira went to heaven 25 years after Kali Yuga began. Thus, in Kali Yuga 2551 year, Saka Nirupa era, that is the era of Cyrus II began. Then coming to the date of Adi Shankara, the great Jagadguru, his year of birth is Prachina Sankara Vijaya, an ancient Sanskrit text mentioned in Bodha Sankhya that in Kali Yuga, Tisya is other name for Kali Yuga, Anala Sevadi Bhana Netra, which means 3952. We have to reverse it, Anganam Vamado Gadi. So on reversing, it becomes Kali Yuga 2593rd year is the birth year of Adi Sankara. This is the sloka, Tisya. Tisya means Kali, Anala Sevadi Bhana Netra. That means 3952. And the year of Siddhi is Punya Sloka Manchari, another ancient Sanskrit text in the fourth sloka mentioned in Katapayadi Sankhya. That is in Kali, Sarasarabde means 5262, that is 2625. And we have to do Anganam Vamadagadi. So Kali year 2625. At the age of 32, Adi Sankara attained Siddhi. Pale Sarasarabde Apicha Kalir. This is the sloka. It is all mentioned in detail in the Tamil text Devatin Kural, 5th volume, Sankara Kala Nirnayam, a holy talk by Jagadguru Bhujya Sri Sandrasekhara Saraswati Swamigal. I say my pranam to him. Date of Mahabharata war and year of Kali Yuga beginning the epoch of Kali Yuga. Mahabharata text of Veda Vyasa mentioned that the war was fought at the end of Dwapara Yuga and Kali Yuga would begin very soon. There were just 36 plus years of difference from the year of Mahabharata war to the beginning of Kali Yuga. These are all referred in Mahabharata texts of Veda Vyasa at Adi Parva, Vana Parva, Bhishma Parva, Santi Parva, Sri Parva and Maushala Parva. In Bhishma Parva at the 10th Adhyaya, at the 6th sloka, Sanjaya mentioned to Dhritarashtra that in present tense that it is Dwapara Yuga. And Vana Parva mentions that Kali Yuga is going to come very soon. Adi Parva mentioned that the war was fought at the junction of Kali Dwapara Yuga. And Sri Krishna, yes, Narayana mentioned that this Sri Krishna Avatara will take place at the Kali Dwapara junction, as mentioned in Santi Parva. Thus, the year of Mahabharata war can be fixed easily when we know Kali Yuga epoch. The Purana, especially Vishnu, Matsya, Brahmanda, Vayu, and Srimad Bhagavatam describe the chronology of Pandava dynasty, Ikshavaku dynasty, and Magadha Empire and their contemporary kings ruling various parts of our nation from the year of Mahabharata war up to Gupta period. Thus, the dates of Gautama Buddha, who was contemporary to Bimbisara and Ajatasattu of Sishunaga dynasty of Magadha Empire, and who was the 24th prince of Ikshavaku dynasty from Mahabharata war, as per this Puranic chronology, and Chanakya, Chandragupta Maurya, and Asoka, and many other kings, their dates can be exactly fixed when we know Kali Yuga epoch. The Kali Yuga Raja Vriddhanta, an ancient Sanskrit text, describes the chronology of Magadha kingdom from the year of Mahabharata war to Gupta period. It details about the Saptarishi or Laukika of the era. Both are one and the same, which is mostly followed in Kashmir area. Saptarishi is the great Bharat constellation where 7 major stars are named after 7 famous rishis, and Arundhati is always with Vashishta. As per this text, Saptarishi will be stationed for 100 years in every nakshatra, situated in the ecliptic belt of Earth's revolution around the sun, and one complete revolution occurs in 2700 years. It stayed in Maha Nakshatra 75 years before beginning of Kali Yuga and 25 years after beginning of Kali Yuga, as per this Kali Yuga Raja Vriddhanta. Then it went to Ashlesha when Yudhishthira went to heaven after 25 years of Vanavasa, at which the Laukika of the era began. It mentions that Kali Yuga began when Sri Krishna left the world. The text mentioned at the time of Mahabhatmananda, the Saptarishi were at Sravana Nakshatra, that is 1500 years gap. At 24th Nakshatra, Andhra Sadhavahana kings will be ruling, and at the end of their Andhra Sadhavahana rule, it will be at 27th Nakshatra, at which Gupta period will begin. And when Saptarishi reaches Punarvasu, Gupta Empire will start downfall, and when it reaches Purva Bhadrapada, Magadha will be in the hands of Pala kings of Bengal. So we can clearly derive the exact dates of all these kingdoms when we know Kali Yuga epoch. Hence, from the details given in Purana and Kali Yuga Raja Vriddhanta, we can derive the correct chronology of our nation. Since Mahabharata war and Kali Yuga beginning. And the year of Mahabharata war can also be derived further. We can derive the periods of Sri Krishna, Vedavyasa, and the year of Bhagavad Gita. And the beginning of Kali Yuga is clearly mentioned by Purana like Srimad Bhagavatam, Vishnu Purana, Brahma Purana, Brahmanda Purana, Matsya Purana, Vayu Purana, which mentioned that Kali Yuga began immediately after Sri Krishna had left the earth. Thus, 36 years from before Kali Yuga beginning, Mahabharata war was fought. After Mahabharata war and Kali Yuga beginning, there were evidence for the chronology of later events up to Gupta period, up to Pala kings of Bengal. So we can fix the dates of various personalities and kings. Hence, the date of Mahabharata war and the year of beginning of Kali Yuga can be a twin sweet anchor in the history and chronology of our nation. Now, coming to scholars' opinion on the literary evidence of Kali Yuga and its Kali Yuga epoch. They used to say the Purana are not reliable, maybe myth, and the astronomical texts are meant for astronomical purposes only, and it is meant for to find out the Graha position in the sky to fix auspicious time for Yajna and the other activities. The astrology and almanacs give Kali Yuga years and even Kali day in Jataka of individuals, but they say that this itself is based on astronomical texts which are meant for astronomical purposes and not for historical and chronological purposes. Thus, we cannot take these literary evidence as a 100% proof for Kali Yuga and Kali Yuga epoch. That is the scholars, many of the scholars, not all scholars, many scholars think like that. Hence, what we need is epigraphic evidence. Unfortunately, it is believed that only a very few inscriptions are dated in Kali Yuga, that is less than 10. We need at least 50 to 100 to prove Kali Yuga epoch. Further, it is believed that there was no uniformity in time calculations in following any era, common era throughout the nation. Each region followed their own era. For example, Sri Harsha era, Malava Ganasaka era, Saka era, that is Sakanirupa era, Vikrama Samvat, Salivagana era, Gupta era, Ganga era, Chalukya Vikrama era, Kollam era, and many kings mentioned their period in their regnal year alone. So, scholars think there is no uniformity and uniform era throughout the nation. That is their opinion. Thus, strong and more epigraphic evidence are absolute and concrete answer for this. So, we need epigraphic inscriptional evidence. The only one inscription quoted by scholars to refer the beginning of Kali Yuga is the Aihole inscription of Pulikesi to the king, Chalukya king of Vadabi. It mentions that after Mahabharata war, 3735 years in Kali Yuga and 556 years in Saka era were elapsed at the time of Aihole inscription. We all know that Salivagana Saka began in 78 Common Era, so it is 634 Common Era. This shows that Kali Yuga 3735 is also 634 Common Era. This clearly proves that Kali Yuga began in 3101 BCE. Except for this single and few more epigraphic evidence, various texts are mostly silent on any other inscriptional evidence regarding the date of Kali Yuga. So we have to search more epigraphic evidence. 1.5 years back, I read an article through internet that there was an inscription of Chola king Parantaka Chola Chakravarti first that was dated in Kali Yuga 4044. Unfortunately, the author could not identify the location of the inscription and he cannot give any further details. So I have read more than 50 books to identify where this inscription, what is the detail of this inscription. And 50 books of Chola kingdom I read. Finally, from the book, The Early Chola Temples by Sri S.R. Balasubramanian sir, I thank him wholeheartedly. I found that the inscription dated in 4044th year of Kali Yuga, engraved during the reign of Madurai Konda Parantaka Chola Chakravarti I, and it is at Sri Sivalokanatha temple, Gramam near Viluppuram in Tamil Nadu. I have visited the temple and I have seen the inscription personally. This stimulated an irresistible, intense desire in me, in my heart. So thenceforth, I started searching for inscriptions dated in Kali Yuga. Finally, I have found out 436 inscriptions that were dated in Kali Yuga. Then I started compiling this data, added with some details in a book by name Kali Yuga Inscriptional Evidence. The inscriptions are detailed in the following order. That is, the book, the chapter, the page, the publication serial number are given, and the location of the inscription or the donor of the copper plate, and the name of the dynasty and king, and the year, Kali Yuga year, in which it is inscribed, and the language and other details of the inscription, whether the gift or donation, and finally followed by remarks. So in that order, I have described each inscription in my book. Out of these 436 inscriptions dated in Kali Yuga, only a very few important and interesting inscriptions are detailed here. The Aihole inscription we have seen already. It is at Megudi temple at Aihole village, Kungun Taluk, Bagalkot district in Karnataka state. It is in Sanskrit poem. The king is Pulikeshi II of Western Chalukya of Badami. It mentions that after Mahabharata war in the year 3775 of Kali Yuga and 556th year of Sagara, this epigraph is inscribed. We have seen already, this itself proves that Kali Yuga began in 3101 BCE. It is further proved that Pulikeshi II, this inscription details the victory of Pulikeshi II over Harsha of Staneswara Pusyabodhi dynasty. We know the period of Sri Harsha, and also it mentioned, Sri Harsha is mentioned by Chinese traveler Huan Shuang, Harsha Shiladitya mentioned by Chinese traveler Huan Shuang as his contemporary. And Chinese traveler Huan Shuang traveled in India from 630 to 645 Common Era. Further, Pallava kings Magendra Varman and Narasimha Varma were contemporary to Pulikeshi II, and their regnal period is 600 to 668 Common Era. This proves that the date 634 of the inscription is within the regnal period of Pulikeshi II, and it again proves that Kali Yuga epoch is at 3101 BCE. This is the inscription. I thank ASI for the inscription donation, picture donation. Then serial number 2, Anamalai inscription. This is at Sri Narasimha temple, Anamalai, that is Narasingham near Melur, 10 kilometers from Madurai in Tamil Nadu state. It is Sanskrit verses in Tamil Grantha. The king is Pandya king Parandaga. This inscription mentions that Madurakavi, son of Mara of Karavandipura, he is the minister, chief minister of Parandaga Pandya Chakravarti. The Vishnu temple and that is the Narasimha temple, and installed the idol of Narasimha in the year 3871 Kali. King Jadila Parantaka's regnal period is 765 to 815 Common Era. His father Maravarman Rajasimha fought with Badami Chalukya king Kirti Varman and Western Ganga king Sri Purusha. These are all the regnal periods. And this Kirti Varman was again defeated by Rashtrakuta king Dandi Durga, who was father-in-law of Pallava king Nandivarma, and these are all their regnal periods. Thus, based on their regnal periods, on the chronology of Pandya, Pallava, Ganga, Chalukya, and Rashtrakuta kingdoms, we can prove that the regnal period of Pandya king Jadala Parantaka mentioned above is correct. Hence, it shows that Kali Yuga epoch is at 3101 BC. This is the inscription. We can see this is the photograph. This is thank for the AISA for the copy. This is the word Ka here. This is Ka, this is Li. Here we can see this is Ka, this is Li. Kali Yuga 3000, like that it mentioned. The next inscription, Gramam inscription. It is inscribed on the north wall of the central shrine of Sivalokanatha temple, Gramam, near Tiruvennaiyanallur, Viluppuram, Tamil Nadu. It is Sanskrit in Grantha and Tamil. The king is Madurai Konda Koparakesari Varman. It dated in Kali Yuga 4044. It mentions even Kali in number of days, 14,77,037 days. The Vellan Kumaran is the Kerala general of Prince Aditya, who was the son of Madarantaka, that is this Parandaka Chola Chakravarti, built a stone temple, Shiva temple at Mauli Grama. The ancient name of this village is Mauli Grama or Mudiyur on the Pennai river bank. Kali day 14,77,037 is 4044 here. It is actually mentioned like that only. So it is correct. And the regnal period of Madurai Konda Koparakesari Parandaka Chola Chakravarti was 907 to 943 Common Era. Thus, it proves that Kali Yuga epoch is at 3101 BCE. This is the inscription. You can see this is Sanskrit portion. This is Tamil portion. This is Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga. This is enlarged version of the same inscription. See, we can see this is Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga. And then coming to Sri Mushnam inscription. It is engraved on the pillar in front mandapa of the central shrine of Nityeswara temple, Sri Mushnam, Chidambaram Tadu, Kadalur district, Tamil Nadu. It is in Tamil language and the date is Kali Yuga 4060. It details that a middle sluice of the big tank of Vindamadevi Pereri, that is a lake, was dug by Irungolkaran Narayanan, Pugal Vippayar Kandan, whose other name is Vijayadityan. From other inscriptions, which mention the date in Saga era and the regnal period of the Chola Empire, we can come to a conclusion that this Irungolkaran worked under Chola Empire during the regnal period of Sundara Chola Chakravarti, whose regnal period is 957 to 970 Common Era, and his son Crown Prince Aditya Karikala. Thus, the inscription proves that Kali Yuga began in 3101 BCE. This is the inscription. You can see this is Om. This is Om. This is Ka Li Yu Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga. Varsham Nalayarathu Aruvathavathu. Nalayarathu Aruvathavathu. I have given the inscription as a photograph in the front page of my book, Kali Yuga Inscriptional Evidence. This is the front page. So the same inscription is given there. Then coming to Uyakondan Thirumalai inscription, it is on the south wall of the central shrine in the Ujjivanatha Swami temple in Uyakondan Thirumalai near Tiruchirappalli, Tamil Nadu state. It is in the language Tamil and Kali Yuga 4080. It mentions the Saga era as 9901 and Uttama Chola alias Parakesari Varman is the king. He is the grandson of this Parandaka Chola Chakravarti. It seems to register gift of land for offerings. Saga year 901 is 979. Yes, we know that Saga era begin in 78 Common Era. Then Kali Yuga year 4080 also is 979. Thus, it proves Kali Yuga began in 3101 BCE. Further, the period of regnal period of Uttama Chola was 970 to 985 Common Era. He came to crown after Sundara Chola. Thus, the inscription is within the regnal period of Uttama Chola. Then coming to Bhattara inscription, it was presented by Umesh Chandra Chaudhary. The fine spot is at mount called Yitartilla Bhattara in Silgat district, East Pakistan, which is in now Bangladesh. The language is Sanskrit and the thing is Lipi is Gaudiya and the king is King Govinda Kesava Deva. It mentioned that 4151 years from the era of the first king of Pandava dynasty. Pandava Kula Adi Pala Abda. Abda means here, Adi Palana, Adi first Pala means king. So Pandava Kula first king is Yudhishthira. And Jayabhyuda Yudhishthira began in 3101 BCE. Thus it proves that Kali Yuga began in 3101 BCE. I thank IISI for using these photographs. Then coming to Gujarat, Idar Museum inscription. It is at Idar Taluk, Sabarkand Taluk, Gujarat. It is dated in two eras, that is Kali Yuga 4300 in words and Vikrama Samvat 1256. We all know that Vikrama Samvat began in 57 BCE. This itself proves that Kali Yuga began in 3101 BCE because 57 BCE, 4300, we can calculate, it will come as 3101 BCE. So Kali Yuga is proved through, already we have seen through Sakayara, now it is proved through Vikrama Samvat also. Then coming to Solapuram inscription, it is on the south wall of the Mandapam in front of the Rajendra Soleswaram temple at Kodaru, Alai, Sola, Keralapuram. It is in Tiruvangur Princely State previously, now in Kerala State. The Kali Yuga date is 4317 and it mentions Kollam era, that is 392. It is in Tamil Grantha mixed. So Kollam era began in the year 824 or 825 Common Era. Thus Kollam 392 is 1216 or 1217 Common Era. Then Kali 4317 is also 1216 Common Era. This proves through Kollam era that Kali Yuga began in 3101 BCE. So Kali Yuga beginning is proved by Kollam era also. Then coming to an important inscription at Jammu and Kashmir, the northernmost part of our nation, that is Bhubaneswari inscription. Bhubaneswari is a place of pilgrimage 1.5 miles to the north on the village of Kunmuh, Srinagar, Tahsil, Srinagar district, Jammu and Kashmir. It is language is Sanskrit and Lipi is Sarata. It mentions year in two era, that is Kali 4530. It also mentions the date in Laukika year, that is 4. It is in the period of Sultan of Kashmir, King Jayanolo Bahadena Saka, that is Jian ul Abidin. The regnal period of Jian ul Abidin was 1418 to 1470. Thus, it fits with the regnal period of the King Jain ul Abidin. The Laukika of the era began in 3076 BCE. Thus, 46th cycle of this Laukika of the era began in 1424 Common Era, and fourth year is 1428 to 1429. Thus, also fits with the inscription. This proves that the Kali Yuga began in 3101 BCE. Then coming to Sri Rangam inscription. It is on the slab in the steps on the west veranda near the ivory statue of Sri Ranganatha Swami Temple, Sri Rangam, Tiruchirappalli district, Tamil Nadu state. It is in Telugu language. The date is Kali Yuga 4835. What is the importance of this is the Sri Ranganatha Swami Temple at Sri Rangam, Tamil Nadu has 644 inscriptions, and a whole volume of South Indian inscriptions, volume 24, is devoted entirely to record all these inscriptions. Thus, in one temple in Tamil Nadu, there are 644 inscriptions. And Paparambakam inscription, it mentions Kali Yuga date at 4851. Further, it mentions clearly it is a Salivagana Saga 1672. We know 100% sure that Salivagana Saga began in 78 Common Era. Thus, it proves without any iota of doubt that Kali Yuga began in 3101 BCE. That is the importance of this inscription. And then coming to Ganapati inscription, a slab built into the west wall of the front mandapa of the Sri Venugopala Swami temple at Ganapati, Coimbatore Taluk, Coimbatore district, Tamil Nadu state. It mentions the date in Kali Yuga 4865 and Sagaira 1686. It is in the Kannada language. Through Sagaira, it proves the Kali Yuga began in 3101 BCE. And this is the inscription. We can see the numbers clearly. That is, this is 1, this is 6, this is 8, this is 6. 1686 Salivagana Saka. This is Ka in Kannada, this is Li in Kannada, Kali Yuga. This is 4, this is 8, this is 6, and 5 is within the iron bar. The photograph is taken by my friend. I wholeheartedly thank him. This is the inscription, Ganapati inscription. Clearly we can see the letters here. Then coming to Thiruvanmiyur inscription, what is the importance of this inscription? It gives the date in Kali Yuga 4878 and Saga era 1699. Further, it is mentions an English version in the inscription is appended where the date is 5th December AD 1776. So through Common Era and Saga era, this inscription, the Thiruvanmiyur inscription in Chennai, proves that Kali Yuga began in 3101 BC. Then coming to an interesting inscription, Nungambakam inscription. Nungambakam is a place in Chennai, Tamil Nadu state. When the inscription is copied, it is a small village, Nungambakam village in 1920s, some 100 years before. It mentions the Kali Yuga date as 4893, and there is a Tamil version and Telugu version also. It records the construction of this observatory by the East India Company under the supervision of Michael Topping to view the celestial objects in the year 1792 Common Era. So through this date, it proves the Kali Yuga began in 3101 BCE. Michael Topping was the marine supervisor, chief marine supervisor of Port James George in Chennai under the East India Company. Topping persuaded astronomer William Patry to give the equipment to the government, and he set up the first modern astronomical observatory at Nungambakam. And this is the first modern observatory outside Europe, that is called as Madras Observatory. The school was established in the year 1792, and Topping was appointed as the British East India Company's astronomer. From the year 1792, we can derive the Kali Yuga day begin as 3101 BCE. In the same granite pillar adjacent to this inscription in Tamil language, there is an inscription of Telugu detailing the same thing, and it mentions the date Kali Yuga 4893. So through this also we can prove Kali Yuga epoch at 3101 BCE. And this is the inscription. We can clearly see the Tamil letters. That is, this is Ka, Li, Abdam. Abdam means in Sanskrit year. This is 4, this is 3000, 3 zeros. This letter shows 1000, so 4000. This is 8, this is 100, 800. This is 9, this is 10, 10. So 90, this is 3. So in the year Kali Yuga 4893 Varusathil, that is in the year English Kumbhaniyar, that is East India Company, Agasathil irukendra uruvangalai paanvadarkaga, that is a celestial observatory. Here the Michael Topping's name is clearly given here. So this is the Telugu version, that is this is the Ka in Telugu, Li, Kali Yuga, sorry. And this is 4, this is 8, this is 9, this is 3 in Telugu. So in Telugu also clearly it mentions Kali Yuga Abdam 4893. This is the observatory, the pillar at present is there, but the big hall constructed by Michael Topping has gone away due to time. But even now it is not properly maintained. I don't know how long it will last. We are maintaining our ancient important monuments, historical monuments like this only. This is the sad part of our nation at present time. Then coming to Kuram inscription, It is on a slab fixed in the east wall of Kesava Perumal temple at Puram at Kanjipuram Taluk, Chengalpattu district, Tamil Nadu. It mentions Kali Yuga 4896, Saga era 1717. It is in Telugu, and through this Saga era, it proves that the Kali Yuga began in 3101 BC. This is the Telugu inscription. We can see the Telugu letter Kali here, and also 4869. That is the date of this inscription. 4896, sorry, 4896. And this is another inscription in Kuram temple. It is in the Tayar Sannadhi, that is Ambal Sannadhi, Lakshmi Tayar Sannadhi, Pangajavali Tayar Shrine. Here it mentions Salivakana as 1854. 1854. Here Salivakana in Tamil. And Kali, this is Kali. This is 5033, 5033. English date is mentioned as 11/2/1933. This also proves Kali Yuga epoch at 3101 BCE. Then coming to an interesting inscription, that is Bhavani inscription. This is in my native district, that is at Goddess Vedanayaki Amman Shrine, Sangameswara Temple, Bhavani. It mentions a date in 3 era, that is Kali Yuga era 4904, Salivakana. Clearly mentions Salivakana Saga as 1725, and English date, that is common era, as 11th January 1804. There is an interesting historical event behind this inscription. William Ghora was an English East India Company officer. At that time, Bhavani was the headquarters for the Coimbatore and Salem and adjacent areas. And there is a officer's bungalow at Bhavani near Vedanayaki Amman Shrine, this Sangameswara temple. And one night, William Ghera on his official visit stayed in that bungalow, in that official residence. And there was heavy raining on that day. And in the midnight, William Gharo heard some girl is shouting at him. Hey, William Gharo, come out quickly, ran out of the house. Like that, he heard the sound. So he came out and saw a girl standing some 100 feet away from his residence. So that girl again shouted, you run out quickly, man. Like that, that girl is shouting. So he ran to the girl. Why you are calling me? Like that, he asked the girl. The girl told, that is, the girl is 10 to 12 years. The girl asked William Ghera just to turn back and see what happened to your house. When William Ghera turned and saw the house was burning because of the heavy lightning on the residence. So William Ghera thought, just a narrow escape. If I stayed 1 or 2 minutes further, I would have burnt alive. Okay, this girl only saved my life. I have to thank that girl. She turned back to the girl to thank her, but the girl disappeared. There is no sign of that girl there. So he called the local people and explained the appearance of that girl, 10 to 12 years, that dress, ornaments, that face, everything, the appearance of that girl, he narrated to the local people, and I want to thank that girl, bring that girl to me. But the local people told that this girl is nothing but our goddess Nayakaman. You have to thank her only, like that. So William Ghero went inside the temple and worshipped goddess Vedanayakaman, but the local people didn't allow him because he is a Christian. So they make 3 holes on the outer compound wall, and through that William Ghero worshipped goddess Vedanayakaman, and he donated a ivory swing cart for goddess Vedanayakaman. And on that cart, it was inscribed in Tamil, the date Kali Yuga 4904, Salivakana Saka 1725, and William Ghero himself signed on that swing cart, ivory swing cart, as 11th January 1804 with his signature. That is the interesting historical event behind this inscription. And this ivory swing cart is still there in the goddess Vedanayakaman temple. Anybody can go and see it, verify it. So this Kali Yuga beginning at 3101 BCE is further proved through the Salivakana Saka and Common Era. The book Record of Services of Honorable East India Company's servant in Madras Presidency from 1741 to 1858 at the page 99 mentions the period of service of William Garrow, which fits well with the date of this inscription. And coming to an inscription at the highest place, so that is the highest proof for Kali Yuga epoch. It is at Tanjavur inscription. That is on the northern and eastern side of the copper shikara, that is Kalasa of the Vimana of Brigadiswara temple, Tanjavur district, Tamil Nadu state. The dynasty is Maratha of Tanjavur and king is Shivaji II. It mentioned the date as Kali Yuga 4944 and Sakaira 1765. It is one on the northern side, it is inscribed in Tamil Grantha, on the eastern side it is inscribed in Marathi Nagari. So it is at the highest place, at the Kalasa, the topmost of the Vimana of the temple, Brigadiswara temple. So it is the highest proof for Kali Yuga epoch, and it proves Kali Yuga epoch at 3101 BC. Then coming to Sankara Nayanar Koil inscription, it is inscribed on a slab lying in front of Gomati Amman shrine in Sankaralinga Swami temple at Sankara Nayanar Koil. What is the importance of this inscription in Tamil Nadu is, it mentions three eras, the Kali Yuga 4962, Saga era 1783, and Kollam era 1036. We all know that Kollam era began in 824 or 24. So through these two eras, Saga era and Kollam era, this inscription proves that Kali Yuga began in 3101 BC. Then coming to Parthibanur inscription, it is on a pillar, Annadana Pillar, that is Vinayaka temple at Parthibanur in Paramakudi Taluk, Ramanathapuram district, Tamil Nadu state. It mentions the Kali Yuga date as 4978. This is the inscription. You can clearly see the Tamil letter Ka, Li, Yu, Ka, Yum, Kali Yugam. This is Varsha. This is 4. This is 4000. This is 30. This is 9 and this is 20. So it is 900. This is 7 and is 10. So 78. So 4978 is the date of this inscription. We can see clearly the picture. And coming to Erode inscription, the ancient name of Erode is Erode Patai, my native district. It is on a stone erected in the Prakara of Kasturi Ranganatha temple at Erode, Tamil Nadu state. It mentions the date as Kali Yuga 5009 in Tamil. This is the inscription. You can see clearly the Tamil letters Kali Yuga Varsha 5009. Then coming to an important inscription at Omkareswara temple at Merkara in Coorg region. The dynasty is Coorg kings and king is Linga Rajendra Vadayar 11. What is the importance of this inscription? It mentions the date as Salivagana Saga itself and the Kali Yuga year also mentioned. Further, it mentions two incidents of a same event, one at the beginning of the event and on the completion of the event. That is, the commencement of the erection of the Omkareswara temple is mentioned in Kali days. Kali Dina as 17,96,392 years, 92 days, and the temple was completed in 2 months, 2 years, 2 months and 25 days. That is 2 years, 2 months and 9 months and 25 days. And at the Kali Dina, 17,97,421. So 2 dates are given for the incidents, same incidents, that is same event, one at the beginning, one at the end. So we cannot have any doubt on this inscription. Further, it mentions Salivagana Saga date also, Kali Yuga date also as 4922. So this strong proves that Kali Yuga epoch is at 3101 BC. Then coming to the inscription at Ayodhya Puri, that is Ayodhya in Uttar Pradesh. It is in Tamil. Date is Kali 4984. It mentions clearly the Salivagana Saga 1805, and common era also it is mentioned as 1883. The Natukota Chetty Vaishya Nagaratara Pandi Desa, that is south part of Tamil Nadu, consecrated the idol of Sri Rama and constructed an Annadana Chatram feeding house at Ayodhya. So this Salivagana, through this Salivagana Saga and Common Era, we can prove that Kali epoch is at 3101 BCE. This is the photograph of this inscription. See, we can see that Tamil letters clearly, Kali. This is 4,000, this is 900, this is 80 and 84, 4,984. And Sali Vahanam is clearly mentioned in Tamil, 1,805. And the English date is given as 1,883 September 2. Then coming to foreign evidence. Because we need foreign evidence now. Anything if something told by foreigner, we will immediately accept. Anything told by Indian, we will have slight doubt. So we need foreign evidence. So Wat Hua Vyang in Jia in Malay Peninsula, southern Thailand inscription is important to us. Chandrabana of Sri Dharmaraja is the king of Tamaralinga. This inscription is dated in Kali Yuga Varsha 4332 in words, that is Kali Yuga Varshani. Varshani means Varsha. Usually Va become Ba. We call it in Bengal, they call it in Bengal. So that is Divi Trim Satadiya, that is 32. Trini Sadadiya, that is 300. Satvara Sagasrani, that is 4,000. So 4,332. This inscription is in Sanskrit language. That is the important of that. And Javaga King Chandrabanu, he raided twice over Ceylon in the reign of Parakrama Bahu. The date of crowning of Parakrama Bahu II is 1234 AD, as per Ceylon Antiquary and Literary Register, Volume 1, page 98. Hence, Parakrama Bahu and Chandrabanu were contemporary. These are all explained in the book History of Sri Vijaya by Sri K. A. Nilakanta Sastri, a great historian of Tamil Nadu, has given a brief description about the King Chandrabanu and the transliteration of this inscription and his Sri Lanka expedition quoting Mahavamsa and Sulavamsa. And Kali 4332 is 1231 Common Era. Since the regnal period of Chandrabanu of Tamaralinga was around 1230, thus it proves Kali Yuga began in 3101 BCE. The further evidences are this inscription is published in the journal Bulletin D. Aikole Francaise D. Extreme Orient Tome 18 in French language, that is Ancient Tombres de Bronze, article number 6, Lee Royame D. Sri Vijaya by the scholar George Coedes, published in 1918. So it is in French language. And it is also referred in Epigraphia Jailanika, as Archaeological Journal of Sri Lanka in the volume 4. And I have mentioned K. Nilakanta Sastri references. And it is also mentioned in the note on the toponymy of the ancient Kandolian Peninsula, Thailand by J.J. Boyles at page 293. And in the article Interpretation of Source Material for the Study of Relations between Sri Lanka and Thailand prior to 14th century by N. Rohanadira. He is a professor in the University of Sri Jayawardhanapura, Sri Lanka. And also in the article Archaeology of Peninsular Thailand by Abdul Rahman, who is a PhD and professor in the University of Kaban Hazan in Malaysia. And it is published in the Journal of Archaeology, Malaysia in the year 2007. So these are all the evidences for this foreign evidence. And finally, I come to the conclusion. Before that, I'll do an analysis. The analysis is carried out under the following headings, 5 headings. The inscriptions mentioning any other era, including Kali era. It mentions Kali era, along with it mentions other era like Salivagana, Vikrama Samvat, Lavikabda, Common Era, Kollam era, and Kochi date. So out of 436, 306 inscriptions mention any 1 or 2 other eras along with Kali date. So we can cross-verify and cross-check the Kali date through these inscriptions, through this mentioning of other eras. Hence, Kali day is cross-verifiable and cross-checked, and thus these 436 inscriptions prove Kali Yuga begin in 3101 BC. And the inscriptions mentioning the names of dynasty and kings these are all the names and the kings and dynasty mentioned on all these inscriptions. We can see that almost all the dynasties in our nation mention their period in Kali Yuga date. So it shows wide usage throughout the nation in our throughout the nation. The Kali Yuga date is used. So almost all dynasties and kings used Kali Yuga date. Out of these 436 inscriptions, 227 inscriptions mention the respective rulers. The remaining out of 209, 140 mentioned other era. So the date of 367, that is 84% of the inscriptions, can be verified through various data, other mentioning of other ruler, so that they are cross verifiable. So 84% inscriptions are cross verifiable and cross checked. So it shows the perfect and absolute and correctness of these inscriptions. And the language of these inscriptions, these are all the various languages mentioned in those inscriptions. Those that the inscriptions that were dated in Kali Yuga were issued in almost all languages of our nation. This again proves that Kali Yuga usage is widely practiced by people throughout the nation. And the place of inscription, it is from north Jammu and Kashmir, from down south to Tamil Nadu and Kerala, from west Gujarat, from east Assam and Bengal, throughout the length and breadth of the nation, in almost all states of this nation, all places of the nation, the Kali Yuga epoch is used. So it is used uniformly by all people of this nation, and we can strongly conclude that there was a common era for this nation, that is Kali Yuga era. Then the period of these inscriptions from 601 to 1933. And I want to pass on an important thing which is not mentioned in my book. That is an inscription dated in Kali Yuga 2000. That is 3120 years before present. That is in 1101 BCE. The inscription at Uppatur Agragaram in Andhra Pradesh state. This Agragaram was granted to different Brahmins by the renowned King Trinetra Maharaja, dated 2000 years of Kali Yuga. So Kali Yuga 2000 years is 1101 BCE, that is 3120 years, 3120 years before present. Uppaturu or Lavanapuri is an ancient regional Chola capital. Uppaturu in Uppu, Tamil means salt. In Lavana also it is salt. So it is a something related to salt. It was 13 kilometers in circle in ancient days, and the Amareshwara Swami temple is of 1500 years old, and Chenna Kesavara Swami temple is 1200 years old. This inscription is referred by Lieutenant Colonel Colin Mackenzie in his collection. That is a descriptive catalog of the Oriental manuscripts and other articles collected by Lieutenant Colonel Colin Mackenzie, the Surveyor General of India, who worked in our nation from 1780 to 1815. And these are compiled by H.S. Wilson, sir, Secretary of Asiatic Society of Bengal, in the volume 2, and it was published in the year 1828. The Mysore inscriptions, the book translated to the government by Lewis Rice, the Director of Public Instruction, Mysore and Gur, that Swadeshi Samastana, mentioned this inscription in his book in the year 1879. So this is the first page of the volume 2 of Mackenzie collection, and this page, it mentions the translation of the inscription of Uppattur Agragaram granted to the different Brahmins by the renowned King Trinetra Maharaja, dated 2000 years of the Kali Yuga. And this is the first page of the Mysore inscriptions by Lewis Rice. In this, it mentions that dated 2000 of Kali, that is 1100 years BC. So these are all strong proofs. Thus, the period of these inscriptions, except this inscription and a few inscriptions, vary from 6th century to Common Era to 19th century Common Era. That is for more than 1300 years of continuous and uninterrupted use. The prevalence of usage in the society throughout the nation for more than 1300 years prove that it is deep-rooted in the minds of the people, and it is common and essential routine in our nation. Further, it stresses that if you trace an inscription either at Jammu Kashmir or Tamil Nadu or Gujarat or Assam, all inscriptions proves the date Kali Yuga epoch at 3101 uniformly throughout the nation. That is an important point. Thus, it is used in all parts of our nation, in all the languages, in all periods of time, by all rulers, as well as common people also. In those days, common people, they just mention Kali Yuga date alone. With that alone, they can calculate when Kali Yuga epoch. That much confidence and clear understanding of Kali Yuga was there before. Only unfortunately, now we are questioning. Then coming to the conclusion, the year of beginning of Kali Yuga, that is Kali Yuga epoch, is important as it leads to the exact derivation of the periods of following historical personalities like Sri Krishna, Vedavyasa, Yudhishthira, Gautama Buddha, Adi Sankara, Chanakya, Chandragupta, Ashoka, Gupta period, Vikramaditya, Salivagana, Kalidasa, Varakimira, and many other kings and important personalities and important historical events after Kali Yuga epoch. So, we can strongly mention that based on this conclusion that Kali Yuga began in 3101 BCE, we can derive and fix the historical events of our nation from Mahabharata war up to Gupta, Vikramaditya and Salivagana period. Thus, the date of Kali Yuga epoch at 3101 BCE is the correct seat anchor of our historical chronology of our nation. Thus, the book Kali Yuga Inscriptional Evidence, which details all these 436 inscriptions that were dated in Kali Yuga, is an authentic source book to rewrite our nation's history and chronology. And the book is available as a hard copy from Blue Rose Publishers, New Delhi, Amazon.in, Flipkart, and also by searching in Google by typing Kali Yuga Inscriptional Evidence. I wholeheartedly again thank to the prestigious Ancient Roots and also the august audience, the respected audience who listened to the whole lecture patiently and with full attention. I wholeheartedly thank one and all. Namaskar. Vanakkam.
Thank you, Dr. Raja. Can all of you please unmute and give a big thanks to Dr. Raja. If you have any questions, you may raise your hand and also in the chat you can post your questions. Our admin Vijay will collate the questions and he will take it across to Dr. Raja. When was Dwaraka demolished? Any references?
Yes, actually, there are references in Purana and even in Mahabharata. Mahabharata clearly mentions in Mausala Parva that the after Mahabharata war, a minimum of 36 years or 40 or 45, at the maximum 50 years. After that period, there was a flood in Dwaraka and Dwaraka was completely immersed in the sea. You can see many references in the Mausala Parva of Mahabharata and also in various Purana. Strong references are available in Mausala Parva, Mahabharata text of Vedavyasa.
Okay, and there is another question from one Siddhartha Singh. He's asking, what about the future according to these evidences?
See, first we have to correct our chronology because our chronology in many areas are self-contradicting and paradoxical. So we have to write our correct history as I have pointed out the Baghraj war and also the date of Aryabhatta, Adi Sankara, Gautama Buddha. It is all just they derive based on seat anchor that Sandracotus mentioned by Megasthenes as the Chandragupta Maurya of Magadha Empire. So that wrong assumption. We cannot say Sandracotus as Chandragupta. That is itself is an assumption, and they are going further that Sandracotus is Chandragupta Maurya. There is no point in arguing like that. How can they argue? I don't know. It is all based on that Asiatic Society research. Sir William Jones, he only first assumed that things, and it later by H.S. Wilson, Colonel Wilford, and Frederick Max Miller, they make this as a site anchor, but it entirely jeopardized our Indian chronology. So we have to rewrite. Many scholars, maybe they may be in various fields, but those who are interested in this nation's progress, they should come together and form an organization, and they should start rewriting our Indian history and chronology based on facts, without any prejudice, without our self-will and wish, only based on facts, evidence-based. We should rewrite our Indian history in a proper way. That is the next step we have to go. It is the correct time, because the whole in the situation and the environment is fully favor for that. So I request all the youngsters and also the great scholars to come forward and work together and to lead a great victory to our nation and correct derivation of our Indian chronology. I, as a humble servant, I will also join with them and work with them.
Thank you, Doctor. There's one more question from one Vignesh. He's asking, are there any inscriptional evidence for Kali Yuga in Brahmi script?
In Brahmi script, maybe this Mackenzie collection, 2000 Kali, that I am searching for that inscription. It is available in Mackenzie collection, either at Chennai or Calcutta or in London, because it is age of 3120 years before present. So that should be in Brahmi alone, Brahmi only, I think so. So if I get the copy of the inscription, we can say that definitely there is a Brahmi Lipi also. So I request Mr. Vignesh also to help me in this regard to find out this Mackenzie collection. I humbly request him to join with me and we will work together.
Mr. Vignesh, will appreciate if you could do some work towards this and help Dr. Raja on this. I think now we can wrap it up. Thank you all. There is one more question. I will ask this as the last question. One Jivo Naparha has asked, some researchers, the date of Mahabharata is around 5561 BCE. What is your kind of opinion on this?
See, in Jyotir Vidabharanam, it clearly mentioned that 3044 year after Yudhishthira Saka is the Vikrama Samvat, and 3179 year after Yudhishthira Saka is the Salivagana Saka. We all know that Salivagana Saka began in 78 Common Era. So if you apply that, and the Mahabharata text clearly mentioned that there is a gap of only 36 to 50 years from the epoch of Kali Yuga. If we apply all these facts, the Mahabharata war could have happened only from 3150 to 3137 year before in BCE. So we cannot say, if you say that, then Vikramaditya Samvat will be at 2500 BCE. We all know Vikrama Samvat began in 57 BCE. The Bhavishya Mahapurana says that in Kali Yuga, 3000th year, only Vikramaditya had born. So from Kali Yuga, the maximum gap between Mahabharata war will be 50 years. So from Mahabharata at the maximum, Vikramaditya birth days is 3050 years. If we apply this 561, then 3050 minus that, it will come around 2500 BCE. But we our own inscriptions, 10,000, 20,000 inscriptions in our nation clearly mention that in Vikrama Samvat, that, and through that inscription we derive that Vikrama Samvat began in 57 BCE. Because we are calculating through the period of regnal period of kings. We know the period of the kings from other era. So from that, we cannot even imagine how to fill that 2500 years. How to fill it? You see, we cannot fix one date or one event separately. We have to fix the whole scenario, whole chronology, and the previous date and the post date. Everything should fit properly. We cannot push one date very backward and keeping remaining of the other dates in the same place. So we have to push either collectively. If you push collectively, then there will be many hindrance, many trouble, many paradoxical, many contradictions will arrive. So I don't think that the date may be correct. And it is mentioned by, I know what is the basis of that. It is standing on a single pillar, that Arundhati epoch. So
Okay.
other evidences are not there for that inscription, for that derivation of date. So based on one single event, we cannot derive a date. We have to have at least 10 to 15 events that should make an event, make a date correct. That is my opinion. And if they continue, let them continue. I have no objection for that.
Okay, we will wrap up this session. Thank you all for participating, and we'll keep you posted about our future events as we did for this. Thank you, Dr. Raja.
Thank
And
you, sir.
thank you,
for
team
the
Ancient Roots.
organization. Excellently did the work, the Ancient Roots. I thank Ancient Roots wholeheartedly.